You see the little shit going. That's a video.
There's still sort of a relationship or friendship, more of a friendship between you and Andy Louise, or is it completely quiet now?
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Andy and I were pretty close. You know, we made history together.
Yeah.
We lived a lot of great moments, up and downs, if you will. You know, now it's more ups, obviously, when you have all that kind of money. but I remember when we had nothing, or he had nothing rather. You know, things were pretty tough on him, and you know, he was having a lot of financial difficulties. And you know, we got the opportunity to fight for the world title. We got a new manager with Al Heyman, new management team. Got the fight with Dimitrenko, and that's when everything changed. But prior to that, it was pretty difficult for him. And that's what keeps you closer, you know, when you're going through difficult times. That's when you create a bond and you discover who's really there for you, you know, your real friends and people that are who will stick with you through good and bad and through thick and thin. Unfortunately, everything changed after he won the world title, obviously, with everything that went on in camp and after the fight. I consider him my friend. I mean, I consider him someone that will always be part of my life because we made history together. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, I haven't heard from him since Saudi Arabia, since we came back. Yeah.
Wow. Those are the words of Manny Robles, which shout out to Pheno Boxing, Adriana, for doing this interview. And he was asked, do you still talk to Andy? Do you still have a personal relationship with Andy? Of course, we know that the business side diminished. It ended. And he asked if, you know, has he heard him? He said, well, I haven't heard from Andy since Saudi Arabia. So you know what that tells you? Andy didn't even talk to Manny Robles, as you know. He sent his father to do it. And I think that showed what type of, maybe he was embarrassed or didn't want to face Manny Robles, to tell him in his face, to look him eye to eye and say, hey, man, you know, I can't work with you no more, or I don't want to work with you no more. He sent his father. And his father told him the news. You know, he had a feeling that it was coming. But then if you haven't heard from a person since Saudi Arabia, that pretty much tells you what you need to know. Then you hear from another guy that, hey, you're not going to be working with this other guy. You know, yeah, you won't be working with Andy, but Andy couldn't show up himself. I shunned that personally because I think it could have been handled a better way. But initially, what Manny Robles was saying is what happened before the money. You know, he was like, hey, you know, he will always be close to me. We made history together when he was broke and he had nothing, right? He had nothing. That brought you closer together because it showed you who was really for you. When you have nothing and you lose everything, or you didn't have anything to begin with, you just had an idea, determination, a dream, or whatever, a gift. If you have these particular things without any money and nowhere to finances, but you have determination and all that, you will see people around you and you will witness the people that's really there for you. Their concern isn't money. Their concern isn't what they can get from you, okay, or gain, right? They're not opportunists that's trying to be around for a particular for a particular reason. You know, a lot of people are. A lot of people are hanging around like, why do you think fighters have a huge entourage? And then when they lose, their entourage gets smaller, right? Or when they have less money, they get smaller because the people are only around you for a certain reason, right? Well, Manny Robles was telling you guys who he was before he got that opportunity to fight Joshua. And that was a big deal. You know, it was a really big deal. And he said, well, unfortunately, when he won the title, he really forgot who was there for him. And I believe that because Andy Ruiz didn't even talk the same after he won the championship. He was on certain channels And he appeared in certain interviews as a humble guy. He appeared that way, but I think gradually as he realized, he stopped pinching himself, that this is real. This is my new life now. This is the example of getting money. This is how it's supposed to be, and therefore he changed. Okay, as you remember, I believe when Andy had no money, him and Manny Robles, they talked a lot more than they did after he won that belt. After he won that belt, he hardly even seen him. He was supposed to be training with him. Now, of course, he went to Mexico City to visit the president of Mexico. He went to the parades. He was invited to that. But Manny Robles was like, okay, well, hey, what happened to the short knit, bond when you didn't have anything? Okay, it ended. It stopped. Because now he had stuff. He had people. He had an entourage. He had, he had fame. All that stuff that came with that money. Well, it's almost like, simultaneously, Manny Robles in his relationship kind of did this. Okay. And then the bad thing is, there is no way now for Andy to ever see that he made a mistake leaving Manny Robles. Okay, he won the belts, he got the cash, he got the rematch, he got more cash, he got beat. Now he has double the cash that he had in the first fight, but then the cash didn't show him anything. The cash probably blinded him in causing him to think that, hey, you know what? This is where it's still going to be. This is how it's going to be. I'm a star now, even though I lost the belts. I can get rid of Manny and get with someone else. He got with Eddie Reynoso. So, but the sad thing is he will never know. And then by the time he finds out that Manny was the best for him, this will be 2 or 3 years down the line where Manny Robles, he's progressed. He's training Charles Martin. And he's doing pretty good, and he's like the next up from Pulev to being the mandatory on the IBF side. So he's, he has someone to focus on and other people. But, hopefully Andy will see that one day, because, at least when you make a mistake, you want to at least be in a situation to know you made a mistake. And I feel he did make a mistake because he was with someone, and you never leave the people that were really there for you. That's the point of the story. And what's bad is he could have dropped a line to Manny and asked him like, hey Manny, how you doing? You know what I mean? Just checking on you. You know what I mean? He didn't do that. So it showed, it didn't really show good integrity standards. Honestly, it didn't, so that's my counterpunch on that. You guys tell me what you think about Manny Robles's comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.